potential first receiver off the board. Number one in most people's books, Marvin Harrison Jr., 6'3", 209 pounds. I mean, these are all not official numbers, by the way, because he did not get graded for Pro Day or for Combine, but he is listed at 6'3", 209. We don't have 40 time for him. We know he's fast. We know he's quick and agile. But this past year, 2023, 67 receptions for 1,211 yards. He had an 18.1 yards per reception and 14 touchdowns in 12 games. He had 8 games last year of 100-plus yards. So, but here's the thing. Here's the one hiccup, and this is why other people can say Neighbors or Odunze should be above him, is the fact that there was not a single person on Ohio State outside of him that had over 576 yards and over 41 receptions and 5 touchdowns. So, like, he garnered the entire passing offense.
Yep, but you look at the 2 games that he had against Ohio State where he was or against Michigan, where the last 2 games he had over 250 yards combined receiving.
No, I agree.
He torched elite defenses.
He did, and I'm not saying he shouldn't be number one. I'm giving
my argument for
side.
him against the other guys is that, and I really do believe this, he might be the best wide receiver prospect we've seen since Calvin Johnson.
The full package.
He's the full package.
Fantastic.
He is one of the most polished route runners that we've seen come in from college in a very long time. Devonta Smith is really the only other comparison that I can make in the last 10 years as in terms of a route running.
And
ability.
Devonta Smith didn't have the size that Harrison does.
No, I think, and again, you're coming from, I mean, this is what I keep going back to is, you don't think this kid grew up around Peyton Manning?
Yeah. Well, you don't think, I mean, just growing up around your father in general.
Right.
Who was a fantastic route runner and found like ways to kill zone defenses.
Right. And I think his son is a better athlete than he was.
Yeah.
And again, grew up with that pedigree, knows how the NFL wants to run things, comes from a very pro-ready offense, comes from elite talent on that offense. So he's used to running these routes. And he played in a conference where you played against really elite defenses. So he's done it against everything.
The national champions.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is a really good gauge for wide receivers is how do they perform against the elite talent? How do they perform against the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Michigans, the Ohio States? Mm-hmm. They perform really well against those teams. In college, they're ready for the NFL.
Yeah. And, I mean, we don't have to spend a lot of time on Marvin Harrison Jr. because we suspect he's going to be gone in the first 4 picks. Now, something can change. It could be jockeying for quarterbacks, and then he's still gone in the first 5 picks.
Yep.
So I think you're perfectly fine here. If you are the Arizona Cardinals or the LA Chargers, or somehow he falls down to the New York Giants, as a fan base, you're going to be happy with this guy here. He's going to be the Justin Jefferson, the Jamar Chase for your respective teams, considering those teams haven't had anybody. Giants since Odell. Keenan Allen just left the Chargers. And Arizona really hasn't had anybody since Larry Fitz was drafted.
D-Hop, but he was only there for 2 years.
He wasn't drafted by them.
No.
He wasn't a franchise player for them. He was brought in to be with Kyler in that, Kingsbury high-flying offense.